Hey, I'm Steve from This Week with Cars, and today I'm with the new 2000 Land Rover Discovery II that I just bought yesterday. This car came from Arizona and is completely rust-free. The other white Land Rover Discovery II you saw, I did put a new XYZ switch in it, and that fixed all the problems with the transmission. Was driving it for about a month or two, and then I decided to program a key fob so that it would have keyless entry, and then the truck would not start no matter what I did after that. I did put in another matched set of ECUs and BCUs, and it still won't start, so I'm going to just take parts off of that truck for now to get this one fixed up. So yesterday I bought this for $1,500, and the guy said that it had a bad alternator. I made him show me that it started, but we couldn't get it out of park, and so I had to drag it up onto my tow truck. After I got it back, I put my battery charger on it, and it's been sitting there overnight, so now the battery is completely charged up. So let's take a look at this thing. Okay, I've had my battery charger sitting on it overnight. It's now at 100% charge. Over here there is a wire with a fuse connected to the positive terminal, and he said that he wired that up because there was some wiring issues with the HVAC system. So if this is not plugged in, then there is no power for the heater fan. He said it was a common problem. You can see the wire continues there, not through the firewall. It's not one that I've read about yet, so I'll probably investigate that at some point. The truck is really dirty. He said he had just gone off-roading with it. But on the inside, it's a pretty clean truck. Headliner's falling down in places, but that's not a big deal. This truck has no sunroofs in it. The other one had two. That was one of the major issues with that other truck, is because it was leaking and getting water all over the inside for a few years when the previous owner had it. Okay, let's turn the key on. You can see it does run. The odometer is flashing. Okay, it wasn't doing that yesterday, so looks like I'm gonna have to investigate something on that. Everything else here I think does work. Some switches and things are broken. I'm gonna have to get a new panel for down here. There was a winch installed at one point, and you can see the odometer is flashing, which means that someone installed a BCU. I was given two keys for this truck. This one here, which does work in the doors and the ignition, and this one here, which does not. But the key fob here does work to unlock and lock the doors. So I think what someone has done, when you turn the key on, you can see the odometer's flashing. So I think someone has taken a BCU out of another truck and put it in this one. The odometer is flashing because the odometer in the BCU and the odometer in the instrument panel don't line up, and this key probably went to the truck that the BCU came out of, and that's why the lock and unlock do work. Just out of curiosity, I want to see if it will go out of park today or not. Okay, let's see. I think the security system got hit. There we go. Okay. And yes, it will go in and out of park today, so I don't know if that was a low voltage issue yesterday or not. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is take the alternator off and replace it with a new one. I like to pull this hose up first to let this hose here flex a little bit more for working on things there. Then you can use a 15mm breaker bar to push this pulley over so that you can get the fan belt off of the alternator. Okay, I'm just going to leave it setting there so it's easy to put back on. Remember to take your battery terminal off when you're messing with the alternator, because there is a very large positive terminal cable on the back of the alternator. Just going to tuck that down there so it has no chance of getting to that battery terminal. The alternator is held on by 2 bolts, one right there and then one down there. And you just need to undo those 2 bolts and then you can flip it out of the cradle right there. Just use your 13mm socket to get these bolts out. Now you can use a pry bar to move the alternator up out of its bracket. There's a small wire there and you can take that off with a 10mm socket. The larger wire can be taken off with a 13mm socket. Here's the alternator that I took out of the other Land Rover, so I'm just going to reverse the process and put this one in. Okay, time to start it up, see if the alternator is working now. And the battery symbol did go off. Now I'm going to connect the nanocom and see what else is wrong with this truck. I have the nanocom hooked up. Let's see what codes are in this truck. Voltage too low, which we knew about. Mass airflow sensor. I think that's why it was not idling smooth. And that's it. So let's clear these faults. The VIN number for this truck ends in 4854. If I come into info on this BCU, you can see it's 7522. So this BCU is out of a different truck, as I had suspected. But that's okay. Now if I go into transmission lock worn, I can scroll to the end here, and right here it says odometer error warning. I can say not fitted, and then I can write the settings, and then it should no longer flash the odometer because it doesn't match the BCU. Okay, now I'll exit out of here. In just a minute, the instrument panel should turn back on. There it goes. Okay, everything's reset. You can see the odometer is no longer flashing now. I went into the nanocom and I cleared all the faults for all of the systems. The check engine light was on because of some errors with the transmission, probably due to the low voltage that it had seen. And now it looks like everything is working properly. Okay, I'm out on the first test drive of the new Land Rover. Everything is working properly in here. It's driving pretty nicely. I'm going to take it out to a field here. I was hoping that there was going to be more snow out here than this, but at least this is still a good test of the truck where I know I'm not going to get stuck and have to walk back home. The ground here is pretty frozen today. I don't think there's any mud or water out. I'm going to stop at the bottom of this right here, come to a stop, give it some gas. I could feel the ABS system activating there to keep some of the tires from spinning. Well, that's the introduction of my new 2000 Land Rover Discovery. I drove it through the car wash on the way back. Also went and got my hair cut finally. I have an upcoming trip going to Florida. I'm going to be racing down there. I'm sure this won't be the last video with this truck. If you like the videos like this, click subscribe and comment below.